Direct presence. 1. Dead in midnight storm, Sordvria. The approach that should never have happened.
These extreme weather conditions have crippled the airport, with gusts strong enough to snap the thickest branches.
The radar indicates heavy precipitation and strong winds directly ahead.
Captain, the turbulence is increasing rapidly.
I'm requesting a lower altitude now.
Inside the cabin, insulated from the storm, the passengers remain completely unaware of the turbulence and danger lurking just beyond the glass.
The situation in the cockpit was rapidly deteriorating.
Captain, we have zero wind shear and visibility is
I
bad.
have set net max thrust.
Despite the inherent risks, the decision to proceed was controversial. The buffeting winds were far exceeding the aircraft's certified limits.
In the heart of the storm, fear is a tangible presence. Yet, amidst the chaos, they grip not. As the storm intensifies, Captain Rodriguez fights for control. Every gust threatens to overwhelm the aircraft.
Unstable approach, Captain. We must go around.
Negative. I have the runway. We are landing.
At this critical juncture, the final decision rests solely with the captain. The pilots are fighting a severe crosswind. With the runway rapidly approaching, the misaligned presents a critical... The storm hit without warning, pushing the aircraft beyond its limits.
We're losing altitude. Pull up, pull up.
The sudden onset of wind shear can be catastrophic.
Pilot to roll.
Go around! Toga set! Positive rate! Faced with a sudden wind shear, the crew had only seconds to react and initiate a missed approach.
The approach path was critically misaligned. At this altitude, the risk of terrain impact was imminent, forcing...
At cruising altitude, unexpected severe turbulence can induce sudden and intense panic among even the most seasoned travelers.
The devastation was absolute. As the smoke cleared, the sheer scale of the tragedy began to emerge.
Trapped beneath the concrete, the three survivors faced an agonizing weight. The air, thick with dust and smoke, made every breath a battle.
In the heart of the storm, every second counts. The team works tirelessly.
Cut deeper. We're almost through.
The sheer scale of the wreckage speaks volumes about the tragedy that unfolded here so many years ago.
In the heart of the chaos, the human spirit endures. Firefighter Anya Sharma leads the...
Locating the fracture point on the fuselage is critical. This early documentation phase is slow, methodical work. A black box, specifically the flight data and cockpit voice recorders, are critical in uncovering the sequence of events leading to the crash.
The data recovered from the black box detailed a sudden and unexplained drop in altitude, contradicting the pilot's final transmission.
Contained within this unit are the final moments of the cockpit recording, preserved against all odds. We must analyze these key conversations meticulously.
With the coming of the sun, the true cost of the disaster is laid bare. Yet, in this
Evidence collection at a crash site is a meticulous process. Every piece of debris, no matter how small, is
Despite the near impossible conditions, the rescue teams coordinated seamlessly, a testament to their rigorous training.
The urgency is palpable. Here, in the ruins, the true strength of the human spirit.
The aircraft decelerated from cruising speed to a complete stop in milliseconds, generating forces that tore the cabin apart.
As you can see, the structural damage is catastrophic. The fuselage has been completely compressed by the wind shear.
To prevent future tragedies, we must first understand the human element, the decisions made when everything was on the line.
A close inspection of the flight deck reveals the violence of the final moments. The co-pilot's harness is fused.
The night of terror is finally ending. The breaking clouds reveal the somber reality of the crash site as the world awakens.
The cockpit voice and the instruments reveal the flight's last moments. Here, the data spikes dramatically, confirming the rapid descent.
The disaster was the result of a critical misalignment, coinciding precisely with a severe weather event.
The transition from green to vivid magenta on the radar screen highlights the sheer intensity of the weather hazard the pilots now faced.
The rescue convoy pushed deeper into the storm-raveled valley, racing against the rising floodwaters to reach the stranded community.
The family, though shaken, sustained only minor injuries. But for many, the chaos of the evacuation was just the beginning of a long recovery.
The scale of the destruction here is almost unimaginable. A stark reminder of the forces at play.
The storm presented unprecedented challenges for the crew. At that altitude was our primary concern.
Using controlled force, the rescue team employs the spreader to create the space needed for extraction.
A diverse team of experts meticulously combs through the wreckage, gathering the evidence needed to understand what happened here. The cockpit voice recorder captured the struggle during the final approach. This fracture suggests the mechanical failure occurred just moments before impact.
The aftermath was challenging, but the dedication of the rescue teams never wavered. They are the quiet heroes of this recovery.
Analysis of the flight data recorder confirms multiple alarms were active, yet the pilots failed to respond appropriately. The call came in at 4:32 a.m. Within minutes, the first responders were on the scene, establishing a perimeter as the dawn broke over the interstate.
The impact analysis confirms severe turbulence and hail as primary factors. The stress fractures correlate precisely with the recorded weather data.
In these conditions, every second counts. Amidst the debris, these survival tools are critical. This emergency kit and the knowledge within these pages are...
Amidst the chaos of the emergency response, coordination remains the key. These first responders demonstrate
did this nightly. The meticulous process of evidence collection is paramount. Every fragment, no matter how small, tells a part of it.
As the storm raged, Captain Lee battled the unprecedented turbulence, relying on...
These scattered fragments, a teddy bear, a single shoe, tell the real story of the disaster's human cost. As dawn breaks, the true scale of the tragedy comes into sharp focus. The storm has passed, but the memory of that night remains.
The storm's rapid intensification created an unprecedented downdraft.
The wind shear at this altitude was extreme.
There was simply no time to react. As we examine the approach plates, the navigational challenges become apparent. The critical misalignment near the final fix was not immediately obvious to the crew. The pilots faced a critical choice at this juncture.
But the airspeed indicator was already fluctuating here.
Did they cross-check the standby altimeter? With the runway in sight, the cockpit became a scene of intense struggle. The pilots methodically checked the controls, aware that time was running out.
Landing in a heavy storm is one of the riskiest maneuvers a pilot can face. The wind shear alone can be catastrophic.
The meticulous process of reconstruction begins piece by piece, as investigators carefully map the debris field.
The flight data recorder, often called the black box, holds the key to understanding the final moments.
The data was explicit. It detailed the pilot's final maneuvers, showing a struggle against the failing hydraulics in the last 90 seconds of the flight.
While the storm was a significant factor, the ultimate outcome hinged on the decisions made in the cockpit.
With the injured transported, the remaining crews begin the arduous task of clearing the wreckage. It's a precise operation.
The scale of destruction is immense. Rescue and repair teams from the region have converged on the site.
The first 72 hours are the most critical for survival. We're here to help you. We're getting you out now.
The mangled seats and twisted beams tell a story of extreme pressure. Every deformation visible here illustrates. In the quiet aftermath, the forensic team meticulously documents the scene. Every piece of evidence, no matter how small...
These instruments reveal a critical sequence of events. The airspeed indicator was reading 0, suggesting a complete sensor failure before impact.
In the quiet light of morning, we are reminded of the heavy price paid here. A price that demands we remember the lessons learned.
We need to highlight the storm's intensity, and the escalating wind shear warnings immediately.
Teamwork and coordination are crucial in these environments.
We need to establish the command post here by 0800.
Copy that, but we have a priority extraction on the east side.
The extensive hail impacts and stress fractures visible here confirm that weather was a critical factor in this incident.
The critical error occurred at this waypoint, a deviation that proved catastrophic.
But the altitude constraints were clearly violated here.
With the arrival of the heavy lift helicopters, the focus shifts to the challenging recovery phase, coordinating ground teams and medical evacuation. As the storm finally broke, the early rescue teams pushed on. Weary but unbroken, their work was...
The black box data confirms the pilots ignored the critical stall warning, despite clear instructions requiring immediate response.
The final report emphasizes that human error was a contributing factor, highlighting the critical need for stricter adherence to...
Here, where the storm unleashed its full power, we find a quiet stillness. The scars The midnight storm claimed lives and left lessons that must never be forgotten.
As the sun sets on the wreckage, the true cost of the disaster begins to emerge. We must understand not just what happened, but why.